Here is the latest. The pressure down to 905 millibars. The maximum winds at 165 miles an hour as it moves towards the east-northeast at 9 miles an hour. Now, even though it does, quote-unquote, weaken to a Category 3 as it makes landfall, again, very early Thursday morning, this is still considered a major hurricane, a major category hurricane. And as the hurricane kind of weakens from a 5 to a 4 to a 3, it kind of spreads out a little bit more. So those tropical storm force winds are able to reach farther out from the center of the storm system. It traverses over central and eastern Florida, impacting the east. Pretty much all of the peninsula of Florida is going to have big impacts from this storm system. So let's talk about these impacts. First, we're looking at the different model tracks. This is what we look at to see where do we think the eye is going to make landfall. So you want to see these kind of all coagulating, coming together, and you can see that is for this most part mainly around the Sarasota area at this point, but notice some outliers around Tampa and then some outliers to the south around Fort Myers. So it's not a definite that the eye makes landfall around Sarasota, but it's looking more and more likely at this point. We talk about the storm surge forecast. This is how high the wall of water gets as the eye comes on shore, still at 10 to 15 feet, potentially in spots from Tampa down to Port Charlotte, but especially around the Sarasota area down toward Port Charlotte. Fort Myers seeing a storm surge of potentially 8 to 12 feet. When we talk about that, that is how high that wall of water comes. So we're talking about a storm surge of 6 to 9 feet. Above people's heads, a storm surge of 8 to 12 feet. That is the entirety of the first floor of a home, just buried in water. You talk about the winds around the west coast of the peninsula of Florida up to 110 miles an hour or even greater. You talk about the forecasted rainfall anywhere from Tampa over toward Orlando, 6 to 12 inches, maybe even a little bit more. So a high probability of flash flooding coming in at 70% from Tampa over toward Orlando and areas just to the south and north. Back here at home, I mean, it's beautiful. We're lucking out. The weekend looking fantastic. Next chance of rain maybe on Monday, and that means next week it's feeling more like November. Highs only in the low 60s. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.